Tonight, summit diplomacy.
China has been hearing about this issue from a broad group of countries.
Canada enlists its allies in aid of 2 detainees. We're live all night with the latest from the G20 in Japan.
33, 34, that's fine, but 43 is just crazy.
Europe scorches under record-breaking heat. We'll look at the harm it's caused and when it might break.
People liked that idea and decided they wanted to help.
And from internet joke to reality by way of Canadian Tire money, a classic Canadian yarn for a Canadian holiday weekend. This is The National. Another day, another chance for Canada to push for a diplomatic win at the G20 summit in Japan. It wants China to release 2 Canadians caught up in a fight between the countries. Day 1 netted a stolen moment, a brief conversation between the 2 leaders. Day 2 is just beginning there. So you are watching world leaders as they filed into an event on women's empowerment within the last hour, including Justin Trudeau and this man, Donald Trump, who Canada is counting on to keep a promise when he meets with his Chinese counterpart today. As Evan Dyer explains, Justin Trudeau also spoke with Xi Jinping.
It was their proximity in the alphabet that put Canada and China next to each other in the G20 working session. The body language suggested their 2 leaders had little to say to each other. But despite the awkwardness, Trudeau and Xi did make time for a 2-minute meeting later in the day with interpreters present. The Prime Minister's office hasn't released any details on what was said. Xi's biggest bilateral meeting here is with U.S. President Donald Trump tomorrow. Millions of jobs in China depend on exports to the U.S. Nearly half of those exports are under U.S. tariffs, with the threat of more tariffs hanging over the rest.
We're meeting with China. Just so you know, China has been paying us billions and billions of dollars. Until I got here, they never paid this country 10 cents. So we'll see what happens.
Trump has pledged to talk about more than just trade and tariffs. In Washington last week, he told Trudeau he'll use the meeting to call on China to release the 2 detained Canadians, Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor.
Anything I can do to help Canada, I will be doing.
Canadian officials say they're confident Trump will raise the issue when he meets Xi tomorrow, but they can't predict how Xi will respond. One former diplomat is skeptical that Trump's intervention will make that much difference.
Unless the words are accompanied by some action, then I think the Chinese will listen, but I don't think in the short term it's going to have any significant impact.
China has been hearing about this issue from a broad group of countries.
Today, Trudeau met with the leaders of several of those European countries that have backed Canada on the detainees issue, but their words of support haven't freed Kovrig and Spavor. One former ambassador says if this summit ends with no positive movement from China, the Trudeau government will face a choice.
The fact that it took place, I think it's a sign of a small progress, but still important one. But I think that it will leave the Canadian government with some very tough decisions to make. And I would say that probably coming out of the G20 summit, they should announce further measures that will be taken to protect Canadian interests.
We do not escalate, and we do not back down.
Today, China's foreign ministry also posted some unusually conciliatory remarks by departing ambassador to Canada, Liu She, the man who recently said relations had hit rock bottom. The current difficulties in Canada-China relations are only temporary, he said. Canada-China friendship has a deep history and a history that's unstoppable. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Osaka.
Donald Trump's G20 meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin was closely watched. Denials of Russian election interference and agreement with Putin on the matter are now routine Trump behaviors at summits. But even by those standards, this was a remarkable moment. So some saw Trump mocking the idea of election interference there, sharing a joke with Putin at the expense of critics back home, likely well received by those who see the idea of interference as overblown, even fabricated. Of course, former U.S. Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report lays out a mountain of evidence that in 2016, Russia did work to help Trump and that his campaign often welcomed that help.
There were multiple, systematic, efforts to interfere in our election. And that allegation deserves the attention of every American.
Well, if this American is giving it much attention, he's not letting it show. But the political threat posed by Mueller's investigation isn't completely behind Trump. Mueller testifies publicly before Congress next month. So now, Andrew, let's get to the brutal heat wave that is surely stifling much of Western Europe.
Yeah, Adrian, it's prompted government alerts, sparked fires, and killed at least 2 people. It is incredibly hot. In some places, hotter today than Delhi, Bangkok, and even Death Valley. It reached a scorching 45.9 degrees near the French Riviera. That's the highest temperature ever recorded in France. And take a look at the heat map and how widespread those dangerous temperatures are. So the orange parts over my shoulder, that's above 32 degrees. The red parts over 40. And remember, air conditioning is much less common in Europe than it is here. So it is rough. And as Thomas Daigle reports, Europeans are being warned. Still ahead, a long, hot summer.
A picture of summertime in Paris, except no one's allowed in those fountains normally. And this start to summer has been anything but normal. The heat wave tearing through the French capital also has paramedics in Rome keeping watch in case tourists pass out, while people in Geneva seek relief any way they can.
You just can't stay out in the sun the whole day. It's too hot.
The most dramatic scenes are playing out in Spain, where for 3 days now, firefighters have been dousing a forest fire threatening an area the size of Saskatoon. The source? Farm manure that burst into flames in the blazing sun. In the south of France, hospitals are treating heat-related injuries, particularly involving the elderly. I was feeling hot. I got into my car, he says, and they found me later. I don't know what happened. Further north, the heat is forcing some campers to pull out, while others hunker down and wonder when it will ever cool off.
I've never experienced it this hot. Maybe 35, 33, 34, that's fine, but 43 is just crazy.
Even at England's famous Glastonbury, best known for downpours, festival goers are forming long lines for water.
Drink loads of water, don't do your shirts up, and wear a hat.
It's too early to attribute this heat wave to climate change, but experts warn there's plenty more where this came from.
It is absolutely consistent with what we expect from climate change. Heat waves will become more intense, they'll become more drawn out.
What makes this hot spell so extreme is not only the sweltering weather, but how early it struck. As this fire in France moves dangerously close to homes, remember, summer's just begun. Thomas Daigle, CBC News, London.
Now, as you heard, while it's still unclear if climate change is to blame in Europe, doctors here in Canada say it is already affecting our health, spreading disease, increasing anxiety, more trouble breathing. Be sure to stick around, because a little later on The National, we will look at how doctors are adapting. But let's look now at a very different sort of life-changing experience. Canadian astronaut David Saint-Jacques has his feet firmly planted back on the ground, and after spending 6 months in space, he's gradually getting reacquainted with gravity. And today, as Alison Northcott shows us, he opened up about his adventure.
Separation is confirmed.
We see station move away. That's been my home for so long. I got a sense of, wow, we're just alone in this tiny little capsule now.
To hear David Saint-Jacques describe his journey back to Earth.
Eventually, we hit the atmosphere, and you can feel that. The spacecraft separates into 3 pieces, boom, 3 explosions, and then you start to feel the wind, a wind buffeting. You know, you're being jerked around with the wind, but you're going so fast. That's when you realize how fast you're going.
The incredible speed, the force of gravity, the parachute opening with a jerk.
And that's really violent. That's like going on a joyride at the amusement park, where the capsule's spinning all around, and then eventually, bang! Strong, it's like a car crash, strong impact on the ground. And then everything is quiet, nothing moves anymore, and you've made it back to Earth, and it was a beautiful moment.
It's no wonder, after a ride like that, he emerged from the space capsule feeling like this.
I mean, gravity is not my friend. I'm having these
I need to learn to walk again. For me, it was just balance and nausea. I felt completely unable to stand up.
Today, just days after landing, St. Jacques says his body is adapting.
I can walk around. I started to run. I started just the normal process of readaptation and getting a sense of my own body again. So gravity has become my friend again.
He says holding his wife and 3 children, feeling the weight of their bodies in his arms after months of weightlessness was a joy.
Good morning. Let's have a look outside.
St. Jacques spent 204 days in space, more than any other Canadian on a single mission. Now, he says, it all feels like a dream.
You can feel that we're an extension of the human mind up there. It doesn't make you feel small. On the contrary, it makes you feel part of something huge, which is the power of the human mind to expand our world.
He says what he'll miss most is the camaraderie with his colleagues and the breathtaking view of the Earth from above. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Longueuil, Quebec.
It's pretty cool. Okay, now, thinking back, the moon landing might have been one small step for man, but recreating the nerve center of one of humanity's most historic moments was a giant leap for restoration crews. And now, Houston Mission Control is back.
I walked into that viewing room, and it was dazzling, overwhelmed. You just couldn't believe this. All of a sudden, you were 50 years younger.
So this is Gene Kranz about 50 years ago. He was the flight director for the original Apollo missions. And take a look, this is the room he's talking about now. Over the decades, Houston Mission Control, it had fallen into disrepair, but now everything's restored, right down to the last detail, exactly as it was. And the National will be returning to this room when Apollo 11 marks its 50th anniversary in a couple of weeks' time. Okay, yet another North Atlantic right whale has died off Canada's east coast, bringing the recent toll to a half dozen. It is a serious concern when you figure the estimated population today, barely more than 400. And that whale is still adrift. But today, one of the previous casualties was the object of intense study. The mystery, why they're suddenly dying. Kayla Hounsell looks in on what has become an urgent mission.
Another day, another dead whale on another maritime beach. A story that's become all too familiar.
I mean, it's a shame, really, something, such a big, beautiful animal be dead like that.
6 North Atlantic right whales have been found dead in the Gulf of St. Lawrence this month, 4 within 48 hours.
It's very upsetting, but we at least know that we can, do something that's meaningful, hopefully, and try to figure out what's going on and help make a change.
Dozens of scientists are examining this massive mammal from the outside in on Prince Edward Island.
And we come into this with no preconceived notions. We, as pathologists, our job is to look at the evidence in front of us and make a conclusion based on what we see.
In recent weeks, the same scene has unfolded on beaches in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Among the most concerning was this whale named Punctuation. She was one of only 100 females still able to reproduce. A preliminary investigation shows she was struck by a ship. Yesterday, Transport Canada implemented an interim precautionary speed restriction for large vessels in 2 areas of the Gulf.
Any kind of actions that they implement to help the species, I mean, there's only so many of them left, so it is what it is, and it's kind of a shame that it affects our day of crab fishing, but in the end, I mean, we're only small potatoes.
In 2017, there were 12 right whale deaths in Canadian waters. Last year, there were none. What exactly has changed is unclear.
The distribution of the right whales is definitely different than it was last year, so they're not in the same place that they were in 2018 and 2017, so that could be one of the factors.
It is possible warming waters have caused the whale's food sources to change course, but determining what is killing this endangered species so rapidly is a multidisciplinary investigation still very much underway. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Halifax.
We are live on the National following a disturbing development in the story of Alan Kurdi. Tonight, his family is speaking out in renewed grief and anger. The family believes a movie is being made about the 2-year-old Syrian refugee's death. Pictures of the little boy who drowned in 2015 broke hearts around the world. Tima Kurdi, who lives in Burnaby, BC, says her brother, the boy's father, phoned with news about the movie just yesterday.
He's just screaming and crying, and he said to me, like, how somebody can bring my dad's son alive? How can this gonna happen? This is disrespectful to us, to my family, hurt us, and we cannot allow it.
Reports suggest American actor Steven Seagal is connected to the film.
I, Bill de Blasio, Mayor of the City of New York, do hereby proclaim Friday, June 28, 2019, the City of New York as Stonewall Day.
And that was the scene in New York City tonight as it honors the history made there exactly 50 years ago. The Stonewall Inn, a gay-friendly bar in Manhattan, was raided by police in a move that changed the gay rights movement forever. To honor that, World Pride is being held in New York this month. When police showed up at that bar on June 28, 1969, they had no idea what they were setting in motion. What happened next is now called the Stonewall Uprising. It is the reason there are pride parades in June. In fact, it's the reason there are pride parades at all. Back then, raids and arrests targeting gay people were common, but that raid at the gay-friendly Stonewall Inn was anything but common. After police burst in and confronted the crowd, they ordered people to leave. But that night, the crowd stuck around and people fought back.
People just went crazy. They started throwing everything in their pockets that they didn't need.
The violence turned into days of protests and led to the formation of gay rights groups, the start of something huge. The next year, an anniversary rally, and then the next year after that, and so on, all the way to today. There has been so much progress since then, legal rights and societal respect for many in the LGBTQ community, but as Stephen D'Souza shows us, it has not been shared equally.
For Lala Zanel, a visit to the Stonewall Inn brings mixed emotions. Pride for the black trans women like her who led the fight 50 years ago, but anger that after decades of progress, she still feels like she's on the outside looking in.
You know, there's been lots of visibility, there's been lots of, progressive legislation across the country, but within the larger LGBT plus acronym, the T still kind of remains to be silent.
Y'all about to take a picture, honey? It ain't often you get a black trans woman out here.
She can't remain silent when a high school tour passes by. The guide reads what she feels is a sanitized version of events that overlooks the contributions of trans women of color.
Happy Pride, though. Stonewall was a riot, never forget it. Led by black and brown folks like me.
Molotov cocktails were flying, and I'm like, oh my God, the revolution is here, thank God.
50 years ago, when the LGBTQ community fought back against police at the Stonewall Inn, trans women like Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera were on the front lines.
Darling, I want my gay rights now!
For the days that followed, they were in the thick of the protests that ultimately sparked the modern gay rights movement. But decades later, the job discrimination, violence, and police harassment Johnson faced are still very much the reality for transgender women like Jocelyn Castillo.
There's
a stigma to being transgender, she says. If I go out after 10 p.m., police assume I'm doing sex work and will harass and threaten me with arrest. Community activists say job discrimination forces many trans women into sex work. They say in New York, police use a law against loitering to target people for essentially walking while trans. According to a 2015 survey of the transgender community, 58% reported harassment by police. And then there's the violence. Since 2018, at least 36 transgender women have been killed in the U.S. I have nothing to celebrate now. 50 years later, the rights of transgender women of color are still not respected, she says. Recently, the New York police apologized for their actions at Stonewall 50 years ago.
The actions and the laws were discriminatory and oppressive, and for that, I apologize.
A good start, but Lala Zanel says that's not enough.
It's like, is it going to take 50 years for the NYPD to apologize for the things that they're doing to black and brown trans folks today?
A new monument to Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera will soon go up a few blocks from Stonewall. The city says it will be the first public art installation in the world to honor trans women. a bit of history, though Zanel says it will take more than a statue and an anniversary to help people like her feel truly accepted. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.
Up next, a California racetrack under fire for dozens of dead horses, and it's owned by one of Canada's wealthiest families.
Plus, I didn't know what to do. I was not expecting that at all.
What caught her so off guard? Well, it was a very Canadian surprise.
A new decision about a day at the races, still months away, has caused an outcry in California. And a well-known Canadian family is at the center of it. The Astronaut Group owns the Santa Anita Racetrack, which will host November's $40 million Breeders' Cup horse races. But protesters say the owners and their facility should not be rewarded because over and over again during the past 6 months, horses have been dying there. Kim Brunhuber explains.
It's known as the Great Race Place, one of the most glamorous racetracks in the world. But now Santa Anita Park is becoming famous for a dark and deadly pattern.
Shame on you!
This, the latest protest after a 30th horse died here this season.
These horses have been killed here year after year.
Horse racing in the U.S. is a lethal sport. Across the country last year, on average, 10 horses died every week. But here at this one racetrack alone, since the end of December, a horse has been put down on average more than once a week.
It was during training on the turn.
Ron McAnally's filly Dunkirk was one of them.
I wanted to cry when I got home. You know, it hurts us as much as everybody else.
Some blame the track's Canadian owner, the Astronaut Group. The company has increased the number of races and changed from the more expensive but safer synthetic track to the traditional and cheaper mix of sand and dirt. The Astronaut Group didn't respond to our requests for comment. In March, investigators found no problems with the track, and Santa Anita has established new safety rules. But activists say it's not enough.
We're fed up with their excuses. We're still seeing dying horses here.
State and county regulators are now investigating, and the California Horse Racing Board says it's focusing on making tracks safer.
We're the only jurisdiction in the country to have safety stewards whose responsibility is the safety and welfare of the racehorse.
2 weeks ago, the board recommended that Santa Anita suspend the rest of its season, but the Astronaut Group refused. California has now passed new legislation that would allow the board to shut down a race unilaterally. Here at Santa Anita, some fans feel their track has been unfairly singled out when the death toll last year at other tracks like Churchill Downs, home of the Kentucky Derby, was actually higher.
You know, it's a shame, but that's the nature of sports.
Opponents insist if death is just part of the sport, then it's not really a sport at all. Kim Brunhuber, CBC News, Los Angeles.
Ahead tonight, why climate change is catching some doctors off guard.
First, though, Rosie sits down with 3 members of Parliament to talk about their decisions to leave politics behind.
And I wish all members a safe, enjoyable, and healthy summer. I want to see everyone back here. I want you to be successful in all of your endeavors.
Now, the fact is, when the House of Commons rose last week for the usual summer break, it was likely a final farewell for more than 40 MPs. That's how many have decided not to run for another term. And chances are Parliament won't sit again until after the October election. So Rosie rounded up 3 of them from the 3 major parties for a sort of exit interview, more personal than political. And it's not the kind of glimpse into the life of parliamentarians that you'd normally get.
For 19 years, Roger Kusner has been the honorable member for Cape Breton-Canso.
I think it just makes sense that we have somebody on that government side that can help and move this constituency along.
The Liberal MP has a well-deserved reputation as a passionate advocate for Nova Scotia, someone who takes his responsibilities seriously, never taking himself too seriously.
It baffles me that isn't the most obvious thing in this entire conversation.
Nathan Cullen's arguably one of the most popular and respected New Democrats representing the far-flung northern BC riding of Skeena-Bulkley Valley. His career on Parliament Hill spanning 15 years, even running for his party's leadership in 2012. Alex Nuttall was first elected just 4 years ago, winning his Barrie, Ontario riding by just 86 votes following a judicial recount.
And the only people all of us want to see win is the Canadian people. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity.
All 3 MPs are headed home for good after bidding farewell to the House of Commons earlier this month.
May we, in all of our efforts, seek to not only leave Parliament a better place, leave this country a better place.
I'm not sad to go. I'm just happy to have had the opportunity to be here.
I sat down with them to talk about their time in politics as their careers in Ottawa draw to a close. So when you got here, do you remember what your initial impressions were? I imagine it's overwhelming. Like when I first got here as a reporter, it's pretty, especially the center block, it's pretty intimidating.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We were fairly fortunate. Each parliament is different as well, and
Sure.
guys can share that with you, but there were 40 new members of parliament when we were elected in 2000. And so we had a lot of experienced people around the table, so the mentorship was there, and we were able to sort of learn from their experience and benefit from their experience. So this current parliament, since 2015, there were so many new bodies. It's a whole different set of challenges for them. And
can I pick up on that exact point? You know, you talk about mentorship, and it's something that we kind of bantered around a little bit. But one of the things that's missing in this parliament is an institutionalized mentorship program. In
See,
the sense
this is why you guys came. So.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
In the sense that you have new MPs showing up, they're getting what seems to be younger and younger.
Yeah.
And nothing there to say, hey, here's the ropes, here's how it works. You have the odd person like Roger and Nathan, I'm sure took young people under their wings, but there is nothing, institutionalized to say, here's the ropes.
I remember they have a little, they did it for you guys too, where all the new MPs get into the House of Commons.
Yeah.
But it ain't much.
No.
Like it's 30 minutes, 60 minutes long, and a couple of former or current MPs with experience get up and say a few things.
Yeah. From that experience, I remember 2 things from my favorite curmudgeon, John McKay, the honourable member from Scarborough. But he had said 2 things. Number 1, this job will take everything you want to give it, whether it's 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week. You have to draw the fence around that job. And he said the other thing he said, when you're away so much, your spouse is home and she's running the ranch. You're almost a guest in the home, and you guys can attest to this. My wife pretty much raised the kids like a single mother.
But it doesn't have to be this way. There's some historical things that the parliaments keep doing. Stupid voting patterns, not accommodating for the family part of this, because this place was built 150, 200, 300 years ago, traditions where it was just men.
Yeah.
There was no expectation of what those men would maybe do as parents or as partners. And we keep saying we want to make it family friendly, because for us to be able to go out and recruit good people, I tried to recruit a couple of single moms to run in my riding, and they said, okay, tell me what the week looks like.
And when you get back to your riding, people expect you to see you in communities. Alex
you don't go home and then just sit on the couch for 2 days.
No, that's not it. They want to see you.
This is your uniform, right? The reality is, when you're at home, you're constantly on. You go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
You're working. You go to take your kid for mini putt. You're working. You go to watch your soccer game.
And that's the deal.
You're working, and that's what you're getting into.
It's a lot. How have things changed? Like rhetoric, tone, whether it's the place is a better place, a worse place. I don't know whether you would know.
Can I say, in the election in 2015, one of the things that I found incredibly hopeful was when the Prime Minister, he had this quote, and I remember thinking, oh my God, that's going to be damaging to my election.
Conservatives are not our enemies. They're our neighbors. They want what's best for their country, just like we do.
And I thought, I'm running against a Liberal, and I'm thinking that is actually what it should be, right? And I think over the 4 years, the political culture both within Canada, the political culture in Ottawa, and certainly around the world, has just taken such a turn, and not a turn right or left, but just turned to both the right and left. And
To extremes.
To extremes. Yeah. And there's this massive divide, and there's just anger and anger. And if you want to get into the play of what's going on, you have to reflect one of these two angers. Meanwhile, 95% of society is just trying to live their life and do what they believe is right. And that's where I hope that we turn to in the future.
What was this is a hard question, so you may need to take a sip of beer while you think. What was your best moment? Your best moment where you thought to yourself, yep, I did my riding proud, I did my country proud, I'm good with where I'm at. Like, I did something that mattered today. Maybe there's been a lot of those, I don't know.
I've had, and I did mention in my speech, and it was the day that Prime Minister Chrétien came down and announced that we wouldn't be joining the coalition of the willing.
If military action proceeds without a new resolution of the Security Council, Canada will not participate.
Canada has now finally made it extremely clear what this country's position is, and that is that it will not be involved in any attack on Iraq.
Did you know that day that was the right thing and you were good with it?
I had a pretty good sense. And the way it had evolved, the way the situation unfolded was pretty much similar to what he had anticipated. So he had good instincts on the issue. And again, I think Canadians sort of see that it was probably the right thing. So that was easy for me.
For me, it was, I'd been trying to get a debate, an emergency debate on the opioid crisis.
I don't think they're getting the point. 11 Canadians are dying a day.
It meant a lot to my riding, but more importantly than that, it was the first time we really, as a country, every party stood up and said, we have a real problem that we need to figure out.
You've been thinking?
I have.
Yeah.
It's rare, I know. It does happen.
It hurts. You have one, it's okay, but I know that you do have one.
It was the day Kevin Vickers came in for the first time after the shooting. And I came in late and I got sort of stuck behind him, knowing that Canadians were having this feeling of crisis, like what had just happened to our parliament, a loss of innocence and all the rest. And there are those moments, and we look at them and we acknowledge them at the time as parliamentarians. Sometimes we don't always recall those stories of togetherness, and we go back to the trench warfare stuff, which is part of politics too.
So why are you all leaving? You go first because you haven't been here very long, and you're doing fine.
I've only been 4 years here, but I've been 12 years in politics, and I'm 33 years of age.
You're 33?
Yeah, I know.
Man,
and
we're
so,
old.
Look, I didn't want to say anything, but I think that for me, I'm sitting here going, I've got 2 children, 3 and 5. I've got a wife at home who I don't know as well as I want to know, and. You know what it was for me? I was in, every Sunday night I'd go into my office at home and I'd do some work before I'd come back. And my son came in and he started doing a puzzle on my desk. He said, Dad, can I do a puzzle? I said, yeah. And I see tears going down his face. And I said to him, what's wrong, buddy? He goes, I want to play hockey. I said, buddy, you can play hockey. Like, let's figure this out. He goes, no, I want to play hockey this week. And I said, awesome. Like, I'll make it happen. And then he goes, no, Dad, I just want to play with you this week. And I was just like, I can't make that happen, and I need to make a choice between the two worlds. And I made my choice, and I am so comfortable and happy about it.
How about you? Just tired of traveling, tired of
No, I don't think so. And I hear Jack's voice in my head when I complained to him once about travel, and he got mad. I think the only time he really got mad at me, he said, "Don't ever complain about it. You volunteered for this. That's not on anybody else except you."
He was right.
He was, and he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. And I thought about it a long time, Rosie, because the honor of serving, right, representing people, I honestly, struggling with it for a few years, couldn't figure out how to make it sustainable. Couldn't figure out how to look my kids or my wife in the eye and say, I got this, I'm full heart, full mind, I can do both these things. And I can do them to the level that I want to do them at. And so if not, then get out of the way and let somebody else move into that space. Too many, someone said this, politicians and athletes always know when to retire and retire 4 years later. You know, like there's something about just hanging on. And I saw so many people who would just hang on, it was their identity or security or something. And I thought if I'd rather leave too early than too late.
So it wasn't like, oh, we're never going to form government.
No,
we
no,
missed our
no.
chance. It was a personal thing.
Oh, very
Yeah,
personal.
okay.
Yeah.
It would
And
have
I mean,
to be, I guess.
I think it ought to be in the end.
Alex nailed it. He said, your kids, they've got one dad. They'll find another member of parliament. Probably not as good, right Alex? But
probably far better. In my case, not in yours, Roger, not in yours.
Better they not find another dad, though. Yeah.
But they've only got the one dad, and so that's important to sort of take that into consideration.
Thank you. This has been good. Yeah.
Rosie.
I wish you good luck. Well, cheers to your
guys.
futures.
Thank you.
And to your service. Thank you for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Buddy.
That's a neat conversation. Okay, so a reminder for you, Rosie's going to be on Parliament Hill on Monday for Canada Day, and I'm going to be there too. It's going to be fun. We're going to be co-hosting the CBC News special, so hey, we will bring you all the festivities starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can watch on CBC Television, CBC News Network, GEM, and of course, online.
We, the jury, find the defendant, William Earl Talbot II, guilty of the crime of first-degree murder as charged in count 1.
A Washington state man will go to prison for the murder of a BC couple more than 30 years ago. Tanya Van Kylenberg and her boyfriend Jay Cook disappeared on an overnight trip to Seattle back in 1987. The break in the cold case came when investigators used genealogical databases to identify the family of the killer. He will be sentenced later this month. And Ontario's highest court says the federal carbon tax is constitutional, just as Saskatchewan's did last month. Today's ruling says the law has the critical purpose of fighting climate change. The province says it will appeal. Here on the National and across CBC News, our ongoing series, In Our Backyard, explores the consequences of climate change and what Canadians are doing about it. The warming trend is global, but it is hitting Canada twice as fast, interestingly affecting the health of Canadians in ways that have caught doctors by surprise. The response from Toronto physician Danielle Martin was to phone a friend.
(120/60). I was first told that there is no Lyme disease north of Barrie, where I live.
We're seeing diseases that we never used to see, that we never were trained for. And I think part of that is because of climate change. And so I'm thinking I'll do what I usually do when I'm uncertain about how to help someone, which is phone a friend, reach out to a colleague who knows more than I do about the issue, and see if they can help me to better understand what's going on. So today I'm going to call Dr. Courtney Howard, a friend and colleague and expert in issues relating to health and the environment, see if she can help me sort some of this out. So listen, I know you're super busy. I was hoping you could take a few minutes to chat with me. I had this experience recently of interacting with a patient around a question about Lyme disease. And I wasn't trained for this. We didn't learn really about Lyme disease in medical school, or we learned about it, but we thought it was a New England thing. You know, it wasn't something that ever came to Canada, right? And someone said to me, we're seeing this in Canada because climate change. And I thought that's so interesting. Who can I talk to who can educate me about this a little bit more? And obviously you are the person, the expert. So do you have a couple minutes just to talk to me about Lyme? Like, why is this happening now?
In Ontario as a whole, in 2017, they saw 3 times as many cases as they'd seen on average.
Why is that?
They link it with an increased number of days above 0. So it just gives the tick sort of longer to wander into new territory. So that's one of the reasons why we're seeing more now, and over an increased sort of geographic distribution.
So the ticks survive the journey into new areas, and then they can bite unsuspecting people who are walking their dogs in the woods.
Exactly.
When I started Lyme treatment
did a lot of antibiotics. That was what was recommended.
Where else are we seeing climate affecting health then? Is it mostly just in this area of infectious disease?
Here in Canada, we're already seeing, especially in the west and in the north, a real increase in wildfires. So here in the north in 2014, we had 2.5 months really of wildfires, and our air quality was worse than Beijing's many days that summer. I just saw asthma exacerbation after asthma exacerbation after asthma exacerbation, and people just found it, as you can imagine, really isolating and made them sad. Like the quality of the light totally changes and becomes somber. They couldn't go outside.
Heck, the smoke is right there.
Yeah.
And we live, on a lake. There are times we didn't even see the lake.
I've definitely been hearing a lot of that. You know, you talk to people from Edmonton or Calgary, across Alberta, BC, they've had such repeated impacts now that one of my friends actually said that he used to look forward to summer and now he just dreads it. He just worries about it.
Well, it's interesting. So, I mean, I think many people can imagine the effects of that kind of heat, but I'm wondering also about pollen. Like, just anecdotally in my own family practice, I see people coming in thinking that they must have developed a sinusitis or something because they cannot believe that their allergies could be this bad and last this long, whereas what they're accustomed to is an uncomfortable week or two in May. Is that a thing?
Yeah, we're definitely getting longer and more severe allergy seasons. The flowers are just producing pollen at different times and in some cases more of it. And so depending on where people live and what they're sensitive to, their symptoms definitely are getting worse. So yeah, it's sort of everything from the day-to-day kind of irritable, things that make you irritable to things that threaten lives. That's why the World Health Organization calls climate change the biggest health threat of the 21st century now.
So, as a family doc then, here in downtown Toronto, trying to deal with the patients coming into my practice every day, what's your advice to me on how I can learn more and engage more on understanding how climate change affects the health of my patients, and what should I be doing as a citizen about it?
If you can tell that your patient is worried about it, we know that taking action feels better than anxiety, so we can help our patients also. So things like replacing your metered dose Ventolin inhaler with a dry powdered inhaler is actually way better in terms of greenhouse gas emissions for that medication itself. Encouraging our patients to eat according to the new Canada Food Guide. So transitioning to a more plant-rich diet will help people lower their greenhouse gas emissions and also be better for health. Getting around on our bike, I arrived here all sweaty. So, many of the things we can do to make a greener world are actually just going to make us healthier, and we can just encourage our patients.
Well, thank you so much, and I will take all of this back and reflect on what I can do in my practice.
Well, thanks for taking the time to ask some questions. It's always such a pleasure.
Okay, up next on The National, a very Canadian moment. Canadian Tire money. So many of us have received it, maybe kept it, maybe even spent it, but if you're like me, you might have just tossed it away. But not this guy from Saskatoon. There's $900 worth of Canadian Tire money in that briefcase, and he knew exactly what he was going to buy. A canoe. It began as a joke on the internet, but boy, did that snowball out of control. Lots of people online chipped in, and that oh-so-Canadian act is our moment.
I made a joke on the internet about how funny it would be to save up enough Canadian Tire money to buy a canoe, and people liked that idea and decided they wanted to help. So I started taking donations. I have around $900. And once that started to happen, I sort of thought that this might be something I could actually do.
Oh, I didn't know what to do. I was not expecting that at all. I've never seen this much money at all. Maybe $200 at my till I've ever counted. So I just was blown away. I didn't have any idea how many hundred there was here. kind of a little bit nervous because there's so much, and then people are talking, and you lose count, and but it was fun.
Totally fun, and it's a red canoe. I mean, you don't want to be the person behind him in line at Canadian Tire, but I have to say, I had a love-hate relationship with that stuff. I collected it as a kid. It took me longer than it should have to realize I could not just take it down to any random store and get ice cream. I was very sad when I learned.
Like just go down to like a Pizza Hut and be like, here's,
Yeah,
I want a small pepperoni, here's 400 bills.
Yeah, not the sharpest pencil.
Yeah, I could never do that. It's so much trouble, like so much hassle. I could never bother myself to hold that much paper, but
yeah, you're missing out.
Yeah, apparently. That's National for this June 28th. Have a good night.
Good night.